Think dollars and cents when you're sued by a debt collector. Brought to you by Kenneth Chabert at yourlegalagot.com. Your advantage if you're being sued by debt collectors. Follow the money isn't just good advice for understanding political intrigue. It's important to do if you want to understand lawsuits. Essentially, all lawsuits are about money. Understanding how profits and costs add up will give you a leg up in defending yourself from a suit filed by a debt collector. If you're being sued on a debt by a debt collector, it's because they think they'll make money by doing so. So let's take a look at it from the perspective of the debt collector for a second. If the debt that you're being sued for is $500, say, by the time the debt collection lawyer has spent 5 hours on the case, everybody is losing money. Present a credible threat of making the debt collector spend more than it stands to gain, and there's a good chance it will drop your case and head for greener pastures. It's a rare big city lawyer who makes less than $150 an hour, so you can do the math on how much time the lawyer must spend before they're losing money on you. The opportunity costs, that's lost potential income, are far more dramatic though. If the average debt lawyer spends 2 hours in court and pulls down 50 default judgments worth $1,000 each on average, he is earning $25,000 per hour. Of course, there are other costs associated with the work, but that's actually a very, very conservative number. If you require the same lawyer to spend 5 hours on your case, the lost opportunity for money is quite substantial. He could win $500 from you for 5 hours, or over $100,000 from people who won't fight. So here's a question for you. Which of those options would you take? What would you do? But let's look at it from the other side. What's it worth to the pro se defendant to win? Again, it's relatively simple math, but in this case it requires a little bit of faith to apply. And the faith is that you must believe the debt collector will drop your case if it looks like it will either lose the case or lose money whether it wins or not. Or that it will at least negotiate with you on more favorable terms if you fight. They don't have to do any of those things, but they will most of the time. And they basically do it all the time, or almost all the time, when a lawyer is representing you, and this is why I suggest that you hire one if you can afford one. But assuming you're on your own, let's do some simple math and assume, as a simple illustration, that you are being sued for $1,000. If you can force the lawyer to spend 10 hours, speaking very conservatively, on the case, it will lose money by suing you. 10 hours is 2 or 3 case conferences, some discovery, and a motion to compel, argued because paralegals will write the response, or a motion to dismiss. If you must spend 30 hours to do these things, and the debt collector drops the suit, you've saved $33 per hour. That is, you spent 30 hours to save what looks like a $1,000 judgment. Not bad. It doesn't take much to make it look a lot better, though. What if you were sued for more, or spent half as much time? What if the judgment would be large and bear a high rate of interest? In some states, the court can award the interest rate of the credit card on the judgment, and that can add up very quickly. The challenge can be to let these things be real, since we're talking about driving off the debt collector and saving money rather than earning it. But if your income and assets are not exempt from the collection process, and if the debt collector knows anything about your bank or work, you should figure you'll end up paying much more than the judgment over time. If they can find your assets, you will pay, and every time they garnish you, they'll add fees that you'll also have to pay. If you've not been paying on the debt, it can be hard to believe that you will ever have to, but the garnishment process can take a mighty big bite out of a paycheck. Defending yourself could be a very good investment. You may not consider this video or anything I say in this or any video as legal advice. I can't give you legal advice, but as a former lawyer, I do know the legal process and debt law very well. So use what I say as a source of information and apply your own judgment to your case. To get more help on fighting debt collectors and their lawsuits, go to yourlegalagot.com. Get my litigation manual and forms. If you appreciate this video, please take a second and like it on YouTube, subscribe and friend me on YouTube, as these things will help others find my videos and begin to learn more about the debt litigation process. Defend yourself from the debt collectors.